His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sent a cable of greetings to His Majesty Sultan Ahmed Shah of Malaysia on his country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Sooronbay Jeenbekov of Kyrgyzstan on his country's independence anniversary. And His Majesty sent a cable of greetings to Her Excellency President Paula Mai of Trinidad and Tobago on her country's independence anniversary. Three separatist fighters were killed today in a suicide bombing in Aden, the first such attack since Yemeni government forces were expelled from the southern city on the 10th of August. In a separate attack, the military head of the Security Belt Force survived a roadside bomb attack on his convoy in the central Aden that killed 5 of his guards. Earlier, a suicide bomber crashed his bomb-laden motorbike into a vehicle of the Southern Transitional Council on a roundabout in the Sheikh Saad district of northern Aden. 3 of those on board were killed and an unknown number were wounded, including civilians near a busy marketplace. The Security Belt Force, dominated by the separatist Southern Transitional Council, seized control of Aden, Yemen's capital, on Thursday after clashes with the government forces. The Russian military said Syrian government forces will begin a unilateral ceasefire in the northwestern province of Idlib in the coming hours. The Russian Military Reconciliation Center said the ceasefire will go into effect tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Today's report comes as government forces have intensified their offensive over the weeks, capturing the rebel-held areas in Hama province and nearby Idlib, the last major rebel stronghold in the country. The announcement came as hundreds of protesters in Idlib marched towards a border crossing with Turkey, demanding that Ankara either open the border or demand an end to the government attack. Turkey's foreign minister said today Russia had assured its observation post in northwest Syria would not be attacked. Speaking in Oslo, the foreign minister warned that continued attacks by Russia-based Syrian government forces in rebel-held Idlib province could unleash another wave of Syrian refugees to Europe. He added that Turkey's military, which backs some Syrian rebel groups, would leave the region only when a political solution was found. The UN Special Envoy for Syria said he's quietly hopeful the UN can announce an agreement to launch a constitutional committee before the world leaders gather in late September, a step which could lead to a political solution to end the 8-year conflict. Geir Pedersen told the Security Council yesterday the package to resolve outstanding names and terms of references and rules of procedures is nearly finalized and the outstanding differences are comparatively minor. He criticized the Syrian government offensive in Idlib in northwest Syria, stressing that counter-terrorist groups cannot put 3 million civilians at risk who have a right to protection under international law. The situation in Idlib needs a predominantly political solution. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that he fears Libya will end up in a full civil war unless moves are soon made to end the conflict. Guterres said unless action is taken in the near term, it is highly likely that the current conflict will escalate into full civil war. He acknowledged the need for the support of the international community in finding a political solution for the country, where forces loyal to Khalifa Haftar launched an offensive to take the capital Tripoli from the UN-recognized government of national accord in early April. He also expressed concern for refugees and migrants in Libya. Fighting on the outskirts of Tripoli has left 1,000 people dead and displaced 120,000 since the start of the offensive. UN envoy to Libya, Ghassan Salami, has denounced such external interference. The UN Security Council warned that violations of the cessation of hostilities between Israel and Lebanon in the latter country's south could lead to a new conflict that none of the parties or the region can afford. The Council warning came in a French-sponsored resolution adopted unanimously that extends the mandate of the 10,500-strong UN peacekeeping force in southern Lebanon until August 31, 2020. It was approved days after an alleged Israeli drone crashed in southern Beirut and after Lebanese army gunners fired on Wednesday at Israeli drones flying in Lebanese airspace, heightening tensions between the two countries. UNIFIL was originally created to oversee the withdrawal of Israeli troops after a 1978 invasion of Lebanon. EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini said today that the European Union will work to preserve the 2015 nuclear deal with Iran and would welcome any moves to add to its conditions. Mogherini told reporters during an EU foreign ministers meeting in Helsinki that her role is to preserve the full implementation of the existing agreements. The deal had been in jeopardy since the United States withdrew from its last year and reimposed economic sanctions on Iran, seeking to push Tehran into wider security concessions, including curbs on ballistic missile programs. New hopes of unblocking the political impasse emerged after Iran's foreign minister made a flying visit for talks with host France at the G7 summit last Sunday. President Donald Trump said yesterday the U.S. plans to withdraw more than 5,000 American troops from Afghanistan and then will determine further drawdowns in the longest war in American history. Trump's comments come as a U.S. envoy in its 9th round of talks with the Taliban to find a resolution to the nearly 18-year-old war. The president, who campaigned on ending the war, said the U.S. was getting close to making a deal, but that the outcome of the U.S.-Taliban talks remained uncertain. Trump did not offer a timeline for withdrawing troops. The Pentagon has been developing plans to withdraw as many as half of the 14,000 U.S. troops still there, but the Taliban want all U.S. and NATO forces withdrawn. Reducing the U.S. troop level to 8,600 would bring down the total to about where it was when Trump took office in January 2017. According to NATO Resolute Support Mission, the U.S. had 9,000 troops in Afghanistan in 2016 during the Obama administration and 8,000 in 2017. Still to come in our news bulletin. Takfid, the copper metal work in Egypt, is one of the crafts that survived from the ancient times in Cairo. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The Forum on Training, Strategies and Development concluded its works in Salalah and the Governorate of Dhofar. It focused on topics related to development of human resources, building future visions and benefiting from technological solutions in training and development sector. The forum also aimed to enhance the level of efficiency and performance related to training programs, as well as exchange expertise and knowledge among the participants. Activities of the Summer Sports and Shababi program concluded in the government of South Batana. The programs aim to instill the values of citizenship among the participating youth through their various activities, including scientific programs and technologies of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. The Department of Sports Affairs in the government of South Batana held a ceremony on the conclusion of the summer programs with the participation from a number of bodies and the youth. The ceremony included various activities and traditional dances, and at the end, some excelled youth were honoured. The participants expressed their support and appreciation for taking part in such events that enable them to invest their summertime in useful activities. Takfid copper metal work is one of the crafts that survived ancient times. It requires patience and a lot of work to produce a fine piece. In Al Muizz Street in Cairo, you can visit Al-Haj Hussein in his traditional workshop, where he still practices the art of decorating with copper. Al-Haj Hussein learned Takfid from his family. It was a trade passed from one family to another through generations over the last 200 years. Al-Hussein family is famous for constructing the door to the Aga Khan Mausoleum, which is located near the Nile River. Al-Hussein's grandfather traveled to Turkey to teach Takfid there. He also made copper decoration work for many grand mosques. Nowadays, Takfid faces many challenges such as low manpower and the Chinese merchandise, and looks for means to protect it from the overwhelming competition. And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over most of the governorates, with chances of low cloud and fog late at night and early morning over the coast of the Arabian Sea and the Sea of Oman. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies with chances of intermittent drizzle are expected over the governorates of Dhofar, Winds will be easterly to southeasterly light to moderate, and seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultan of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. A suicide attack kills 3 separatists in the southern Yemeni city of Aden. Syrian government troops are to start a unilateral ceasefire in the northwestern province of Idlib. And the EU foreign policy chief says they want to preserve the Iran nuclear deal. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studio, it's good night.